everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to my channel, or if it is in fact your first time here, then thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate having you along. If you are new here and you do want to catch my videos, then consider subscribing to make sure you don't miss a thing. So this video is a replay of my Facebook Live, Feel Good Friday, which happens every Friday over on my Facebook page. If you want to join into that and interact with me and find out more about all sorts of wonderful topics that I cover, then you need to head over to my page. It's facebook.com/thefeelgoodcoach and you will find me. If you like the page, you'll get all the notifications you need and you won't miss a thing. So in this video, which was filmed on Friday the 16th of June, I'm interviewing one of my lovely clients, Mandie Cran, and asking her all the things that you want to know about what it's like to work with a life coach. Why would you choose one? How does it help? What are the benefits? Is it fun? Find out all that stuff in this wonderful interview with Mandie. It went really, really well. I'm so chuffed with it, so I hope you enjoy it. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, then do keep watching and enjoy the video. Morning everyone, it's Feel Good Friday and today I'm talking to Mandie Cran, one of my lovely, lovely clients, and asking her all about life coaching and what it's done for her and what it means to her. So let's get Mandie on. Where's she gone? There she is. So before we get into it, I've been coaching since 2010 and helping people to get clear about what they want, and find out how they might be stopping themselves and clearing all that stuff out really quickly and easily. And that's the kind of stuff I've been doing with you, isn't it, Mandie?
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this interview. I've been so excited about it. I'm so glad we've got over all the technical troubles and it seems to be, fingers crossed, working fine right now, this minute. So my first question for you, Mandie, is just to tell us a little bit about yourself and your business so that everyone can get to know you a bit.
Right. Okay. Well, my background was in the army. I was an engineering officer for 33 years, which I absolutely loved. But after 10 years, I became part-time when I had a family because it's going to be too difficult to juggle army and kids. So I became a full-time mum, loved doing that, doing the army part-time. And then when my youngest daughter started school, so she'd been about 4.5, I started looking for something else that fit in around what I was doing in the army, which is very, very variable. Every week was different. So a steady job wasn't going to work. Also flexible around the children, and my husband was in the Navy. He was away at sea, and so also I was trying to find something that I could take anywhere around the country, depending on where we got posted. And at that stage, we were about to be posted to America. Didn't actually come off in the end, sadly. But I was looking for something that I could take anywhere, not have to put down and pick up something else every time we moved. And also, because I was only 10 years in the army full time, my pension was, well, pretty meagre, to be honest. So I was looking for a pension as well. And I started looking around for something, looked at loads and loads of things over 6 months. None of it appealed. It's either too expensive, too difficult, wasn't really what I was interested in, or wasn't flexible enough, whatever. And finally, through a chance conversation, met up with a lady called Asani. And she said, oh, have a look at what I do. I've got young children. I work from home, really flexible. Take a look. So we sat down over a coffee and it absolutely ticked everything that I was looking for. I thought, wow, this is amazing. And my elder daughter, had actually been ill when she was 5. About 3 years, she had real problems eating and it was too painful to eat. So she just stopped. She was really pale and thin and I thought she had some leukemia or something like that. And I did lots and lots of research over that time into eating disorders, allergies, that whole eating and health piece, and actually started to get really quite interested in the whole health issue and how preservatives and that sort of stuff affect us. So when I sat down with the Asani, we started talking about natural products and how they could help people. But this is really interesting. Do you think it might be able to help my daughter? So, well, I don't know, give it a go. So I did, and 4 months later had a completely changed child. And that, sorry, that's, stop. I can get a spam call on that phone. I don't know how to turn it off. My apologies. And so that gave me the belief that, well, I'd seen it help my daughter, which was fantastic, but also I got really interested in health. And I thought, actually, this is something I felt very passionate about. So although I was an engineer by trade, that's how I got into health at that point. I joined Forever, which is the company I work with now, and I've been doing it ever since. And I started very part-time and very small, obviously. And as I got older, I built it up. And now one's at university, and one's at sixth form. And so this is all I do now. So that's how I evolved, and why it's such a change in what I was doing before.
Fabulous. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that little introduction. Let's just bring us both back up. I'm trying, guys, in case you don't know, I'm trying out a new system and I'm just learning how to kind of flip between different screens. It's pretty cool. So I just want to say good morning to Carol and Libby. Lovely to see you here, guys. And hello to everyone else if you're watching. Just do comment below, let us know you're here. And we'll move on to the next question now that we've got to know you a bit, Mandie. So question 2 is, what prompted you to start working with a life coach? What made you look for a coach?
Well, as I said, I started very part-time around the children, and so in the early days, the business was very much something that I was investing in for the longer term. It wasn't producing a huge amount of income. As the years went on, it got better and better. But about 4 years ago, we got to the point with my parents. They're both very, very ill. My father had dementia for 10 years. My mother had been bedbound for 10 years. And they were living in a house in Sark in the Channel Islands, very old property, and it became increasingly difficult to them to stay there. And even though we had 3 carers, it became very difficult. So I had to bring them back to the UK. Dad then died 6 months later, and then we had to care for Mum. My brother cared for Mum at home for another 2 years before she died. So we had a very bad 3 years of lots of stuff going on. The house needed loads of work. That was taking off lots of money. We had the parents to look after. I mean, thankfully, I wasn't doing it. My sister-in-law, being a nurse, thankfully did most of that side of it, but I still had to go out. So I was in a pretty bad place over those 3 years. I actually didn't have an army job at the time, so I had no income coming in, from that side as well. And my confidence was really low. My parents had really, I really found that whole thing very tough. As I'm sure anybody who's got Asian parents will know. My father, I were extremely close, and seeing a very intelligent, articulate man degenerate into a vegetable is incredibly sad. So me and my life and my business wasn't in a particularly good place. And I knew that I needed to make my business work because that was my pension plan. And so I've been looking for quite a few years to find somebody to work with on the coach side. I knew I needed something else. The problem was everybody I met it wasn't the right person. They were either very alpha males or very alpha females. They tended to work in the corporate coaching world, which wasn't what I was looking for. They didn't understand the industry that I did. They would put that down quite a bit, or put down the company I was working with. And they hadn't been through and made the mistakes, learned the lessons that I'd learned, and therefore they couldn't connect with what I was trying to achieve. And I think that's really, really important in the coach. I'm jumping ahead through the questions slightly now.
Well, yeah.
You absolutely need to... the coach you work with has to be somebody who's been where you have been and made the mistakes that you've made, and therefore can connect with what you're talking about. Because if they don't, they've got no idea how to relate to what you're going through. I think that's a really, really important thing. So I had been looking for a long time, and suddenly I met Cindy. I just thought I can really empathise with Cindy, and that's why I chose you.
And the rest
is history.
Good. Thank you for that. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
That last question.
Yes, the question that we're on is the one about, yes, you've already answered a bit about, so there are lots of coaches around, and how you decided to which one to work with. But was there anything else specifically you were looking for in a coach?
Definitely somebody that I could say anything to, I suppose. And sometimes with people, half the story. In which case it's actually very difficult coach to work with you, looking at it from the other perspective, because they need to know the whole picture. There's quite a lot of people I met who I thought, actually, I wouldn't want to share some of my, inner issues and emotional problems, especially my parents and so on, with you, because they would have thought that wasn't relevant, and actually it's very, very relevant. And therefore with you, I felt completely open and relaxed about all of that, and I could say any of that. And you've actually drawn out an awful lot more from me, which I didn't realise was down underneath the surface as well. And there's a lot of people I've met who wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. And guys, if you can relate to anything that Mandie's saying, then do please comment. We'd love to see what you're thinking. So the next question is, what's the biggest change you've seen since you've been getting regular coaching?
Most of it's been inside. The biggest thing I think for me has been that by nature I'm very shy. I always have been, but I've learned with my army training and coaching over the years to have put sort of outer coat on the outside, which is quite confident and so on. But inherently I am quite shy inside. But I realised with the coaching that a lot of that shyness has come from issues my mother had when I was a very young child. Where she basically taught me not to get too close to people, because it's the ones who hurt you, the ones who love you the most who are going to hurt you. And therefore I never let myself get too close to people. And in the business that I'm in, where it's all about people, that's a really bad place to be, because people see me as being standoffish and so on. But the biggest thing for me has been the fact that actually now I can say anything to anybody sounds wrong, but I don't mind what people say to me. I'm not worried about what they say to me. I can talk to anybody. I'm not, I completely let go of that fear of going up to a stranger and saying hi, which used to terrify me, whipped out of me. And so I can have a conversation with anybody about anything, and I'm really relaxed about the outcome from that, and that's a really good place to be. So for me, it's been an inner confidence and self-belief, which I didn't think I had an issue with, but I damped it down so far over the years. So we managed to get rid of all that. That's been the biggest change for me.
And that's massive, isn't it? That, I mean, especially in your business, but in any business, it's all about people, isn't it? And we need to be out there talking to people. And if you can't do it because you're scared, then that's going to really hold you back. So amazing. I'm so pleased to have been able to help you with that. It's just been such a pleasure. So how has all of that impacted on the rest of your life? So that's how it's impacted your business, but how about the rest of your life?
Well, it's meant that I've actually managed to, what I used to do was sort of put my business hat on and talk business, and then I would do my other stuff with me. But actually, it's brought me much more inner self-confidence about going anywhere, doing anything. I actually now find that I'm having far better business conversations unintentionally with people that I'm meeting doing other stuff. So, I do a lot of things. I help with a couple of charities locally, and I'm meeting people there all the time. I go riding, I do a lot of sailing. But now, because I actually can talk to people far more easily and freely, I end up having actually conversations which I didn't intend at all, but actually end up really powerful business conversations. I mean, I was riding last night, and the instructor who was teaching me was saying, I need to come and have a chat to you, and I only went for a ride. And so it means that I'm comfortable now talking about what I do across the board if the opportunity arises, which I couldn't have done before without almost dressing up in smart clothes, putting my makeup on and putting the armour on and going out and doing business. And so I've had the business in that sense is it's quite a different direction, but actually I'm meeting really, really high quality people, very different from what I was doing before, and that's all due to this, I'm sure.
Wow, amazing. And it's so powerful as well, isn't it, to be able to go out and be yourself, and people can feel that. Amazing.
I finally, after about 35 years, I'm finally discovering the true me again and being comfortable with it, because I've hidden it uniform for 33 years, you see, an army uniform is pretty tough, pretty thick.
I'm taking that uniform off bit by bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a quick fire question then. 3 words that describe the benefits of coaching.
Generally, I would say 3 benefits. Getting rid of anything that's holding you back, so limiting beliefs is a very, very important part. And we all have limiting beliefs. Even anybody who thinks they don't, they do. Somewhere down there, it's definitely down there. So limiting beliefs. The other one actually is accountability, because while I'm very self-disciplined, the problem with being in the army a long time is you're always told what to do ultimately, and it's very easy to let yourself off the hook when you're self-employed. And actually, just having, even though it says what are you going to make yourself accountable for this week, and I've got to decide, because I said I'm going to do it, I do it. Whereas before it was too easy. No, I'll leave that another week, sort of thing. So accountability, I think, is a really important part. Even though you are deciding yourself what you're actually going to be accountable for. So benefits. So I think those are the 2 really key ones. Yeah, really
fantastic.
And I suppose actually having somebody else to bounce ideas off who understands where you are.
Yeah,
is the other one I would say. Sometimes you think that's a good idea or not. So
brilliant. 3 brilliant benefits. And for those of you watching on the replay, do carry on and comment down below if you can identify with what Mandie's saying. So this is the question I'm most intrigued to ask you, which is, how come you didn't choose to work with a straight up business coach?
Because all the ones I'd met were alpha males, alpha females, very corporate minded, but even the small business ones, I didn't feel comfortable with them talking about some of the things that we've been talking about. And I think it has to be somebody that you connect to. And also, to be honest, on the business side, dare I say it, I'm fairly bright. I can do my own research. I know what I need to learn. So in terms of skills, I know where to find that. The Forever training is absolutely fantastic. I've done loads of courses over the years. And even though I might not have spent a lot of time business-wise over the years, whenever I've had a spare slot, I've been reading. I mean, I've got a bookcase of books there which I've read and digested 10, 20, 30 times in some cases. So it's not as though it's the skills that I needed, and that's what I tend to look at as the business skills. For me, it was something that was holding me back under the surface, and that's where you work, was much lower down. So that's why I was so intrigued when we first spoke that time. So yeah, no, I mean, and I suppose because most of what they do is skills. Now I think about, and I've actually articulated that, it's actually about skills, and skills wasn't actually really the problem for me.
Right.
So that's the difference, I would say.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, thanks for that. That's really helpful to me as well to understand that. So that's great. Okay, what's the most fun thing about coaching?
I would say just the amount of fun we've had, actually, because we have laughed an awful lot in a variety of ways. And I think it's lovely that when you're working with somebody, if you can have a laugh about all sorts of daft things, it means you're connecting much more and you're working on the same sort of wavelength. Yeah. It's not a psychological barrier. You're my coach and I'm doing this. There isn't a war between the two. We've had a huge amount of fun in some sessions we've had. We've got tears as well, but we've also had a huge amount of fun. And I think actually that's the most important thing, is being like-minded people.
Yeah, absolutely. And my middle name is Fun. I like everything to be fun. Even when we're dealing with something awful, we still bring it back to the fun. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we have such a laugh, don't we? Because we work a lot with your imagination and stuff. And I share stories about how I've used my own imagination and the things my unconscious mind comes up with. They're wacky as anything else. And we have some proper laughs about all of that. So it's brilliant. And so sometimes we're crying with laughter, aren't we? After a session.
Yeah.
So the last two questions you kind of answered at the beginning, but let's just see if there's anything else you wanted to add. So it was, what would you say to anyone thinking about getting a life coach, but they haven't quite made that decision to get in touch with someone? What would you say to that person?
You've got to make sure you really connect with the person. And if you're laughing about the same things, that's probably a very good place to start. But most importantly, they need to be in a similar situation to you and made the same mistakes that you've made. Because only if they've made the same mistakes, they understand where you are. And because the network marketing industry is, some people disapprove of it for whatever reason, and they entitled to their own opinion. And there's a certain sort of view out there about the industry. If you go to a coach who doesn't approve of the industry and what you do, you're never going to be able to work together because you're not on the same wavelength. So somebody who's been in a similar industry before and has also made the same mistakes that you've made, or been through the same things and know it's not always easy, is really, really important, because they understand what you've been through and where you are in your life. So empathy with the situation, definitely making mistakes. If you find a coach who says, "Oh, I've done everything perfectly," I would avoid them like the plague, frankly, because nobody has success in business without making mistakes, and it must be lying. Those are the key.
Or deluded.
Sorry.
Yeah, or they might be deluded.
They might be deluded, exactly.
They might think themselves. Yeah, they might think they've done it all perfectly. Exactly. And then the last honesty, and as you know, that's a really big thing for me. I think you answered the other one, really, is what to look for in a life coach. You answered that earlier, so that's been brilliant. So it remains me to thank you, Mandie, for being so brilliant, so open, and sharing your experience, because I'm sure it can help a lot of people, and it's really helped me actually to kind of understand more about how this whole thing works between me and my lovely clients like you. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and feel free to head off if you want to while I just do the closing bit, or you can hang around. Okay. Whatever you.
Yeah, no, I've got a dash, I'm afraid. I've got a few things, lots of things going on today. So
that's brilliant. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you soon.
No problem. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
So guys, I hope that's given you some insights into life coaching, what it's all about, how to choose a coach, why you need one, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, Mandie has got a brilliant ebook for mums. She's put loads of tips in there, so a lot of self-love, self-care kind of things. I'll make sure that she puts a link in the comments later when she's got a few minutes. And next week, join me for a wonderful training session all about the 10 beliefs that I think you need to release if you want to succeed. So if you want to find out what those beliefs are, then make sure you make a date with me for next Friday at 9:30 for Feel Good Friday. And if you've liked this, if you've enjoyed this video, do please like it, share it with anyone you think would enjoy it. And if you haven't liked my page already, do please go like it as well. It's Cindy Davis, the Feel Good Coach. And I'll speak to you in the next video next Friday. Have a wonderful day, enjoy your weekend, and lots of love from me. Okay, bye. So I really, really hope you enjoyed the interview with Mandie. It was such fun to film it, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you want to get involved with Feel Good Friday, join me over on my Facebook page. You find all the details in the description box below, and you can interact with me, ask questions and everything you like. at 9:30 every Friday morning over on my page, and if you've liked the page then you'll get the notifications and you'll know when it's happening. If you can't join me live, then by all means join in on the replay and like and comment and all that kind of stuff and get interacting that way, or you can just subscribe to my channel here and I will be posting the replays here for you for your convenience. This Friday I'll be going live and sharing 10 beliefs to get rid of if you want to be successful. So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to tune in live and you can ask me all the questions you want to. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a fabulous day and I'll see you in the next one.